I'd love to see if you could touch on, back to the topic of the franchise or versus franchisee model, and maybe in how you go about setting, kind of national level standards in terms of how the experience should be facilitated, and also from an advertising perspective, like how much do you guys try to standardize across your locations versus giving liberty to the franchisees to tailor or adjust their efforts for their specific local regions. Just kind of curious how you guys think through that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, learnings from Drybar. I mean, the reason that we chose to franchise Squeeze exclusively, as I mentioned earlier, Drybar was a mix of corporate and franchising, was just because we learned along the way that operating partners, which is what we call our franchisees, they operate their businesses better. They have skin in the game. They're connected to their community. They care deeply about their team. They're entrenched in their business as if it was their own, which, when you're running corporate stores, you're hiring teams that, you're hoping care as much about your business as you do, but as we all know, that's a hard balance to strike. And so, we were really committed to the franchising route. Also, for me personally, this being my first true entrepreneurial venture, like, I really loved the idea. I always say, running your own business is overwhelming and exhausting, but mostly liberating. And I just really loved the idea of creating this opportunity and experience for other small business owners out there. This is also clearly a wonderful space to exist within. I always like to say that the hour to hour and a half that a guest chooses to spend with us is the best hour to hour and a half of their day, combined with the fact that massage therapists go to school to help and heal people. Like, so the two of those things combined is just a really beautiful energy space to exist within. So just loved the idea of getting to partner with, amazing people around the country and allowing them to really own, this little slice of an awesome experience in their community. But to your point, I mean, franchising really only works well when you have a very streamlined and sophisticated system and order of operations to ensure that um, the success of the concept can actually be replicated. And so, and I would say that, that was the great foundation that we started with at Squeeze, um, coming from Dry Bar, was really understanding what those pieces of the puzzle were and how to make sure that we were setting our franchisees up for success. So I always like to say we're an emerging brand in the sense that we're a new franchisor, but we really are established, like
Yeah.
an established franchisor, or a proven one, just because, we know all of the support, um, tools that need to be in place to ensure our franchisees' success. And that goes from, everything from real estate site selection to construction project management. We've got teams in place to support our franchisees on both of those functions. Clearly, one of the most important functions for a retail brick and mortar business, but also the most unknown to most franchisees. So we've got, a locked and loaded team who supports our operating partners up until opening. And then, of course, we have toolkits upon toolkits, to support everything from recruiting and interviewing and onboarding your team to training to marketing, and operations, and the whole bit. I guess to speak really quickly to your question around marketing and advertising, I always used to say at Dry Bar, I thought of it like a love brand. People's kind of
Mhm.
natural reaction when they hear Dry Bar or someone mentions it is, "Oh my gosh, I love Dry Bar." And it's, again, because of that emotional connection that the brand and the experience creates, and that feeling of confidence that, we're able to deliver for people. But I believe that there's a responsibility on both the franchisor and the franchisee to create that love brand experience. And so for
Mhm.
us as the franchisor, my responsibility is to consistently drive innovation, ensure that our experience continues to be world class, ensure that, all of the elements that exist within that can easily be replicated for our franchisees, and also to own the brand. At the end of the day, we're partnering with operating partners because they are great operators, not necessarily brand builders or marketers. That's where we're going to support, and help to drive business. Whereas the franchisee's responsibility is creating a great service and connection with their guest and their team. And as long as they've got the tools to do that, partnering, choosing to buy into a franchise is so that you can have not only the support for operating your business, but also kind of that overarching layer of brand building, and marketing support that comes with it. So it's interesting. It's like I always reference this, and I can't remember who said it to me, but someone said really early on, if you want to run an operations and HR heavy business, open corporate owned doors. If you want to run a sales and marketing business, sell franchises. And I was like, oh, ding, ding, ding. Well, based on my experience and who I am, that makes a lot of sense. So that was kind of, also a moment in time where I thought, okay, this is the right direction to go.